Okay everyone, so today I'm going to make my version of the most delicious oven baked chicken with mushrooms and rice, or mushroom rice, or whatever you want to call it, rice with mushroom gravy. That's on the internet that I found, a recipe, and I'm going to have a link to that in the description box. That I'm loosely following. I got the idea for it from this recipe that I saw on YouTube. However, what I am going to do is, because I'm on a low sodium diet, and it's very important for me to stick to this, and it's, from what I understand, salt is not really a great thing for anybody to be consuming in a large quantity anyways. So what I'm doing is I'm making this dish in a more healthy way, and I will show you what I'm doing right now. I'm just doing the prep, and it's not very labor intensive, but it's not super easy either. It's easy to do. I think it's well worth it, but it is about medium on a scale of labor intensive, but it is easy to follow this recipe. And so I will get started. So first of all, I have two very large leg thigh pieces of chicken. I do prefer dark meat. And what I did was I slashed it, as you can see, into the skin on both of these, so that the marinade, when the chicken is marinated, it will go through. I have some prepared mustard, and I have a whole bunch of spices here that I'm substituting for some of the seasonings that are quite heavy in MSG and salt and all sorts of things that are not really very good for you. So I've sort of made my own spice blend, or I'm going to be making it. So this one here is coriander Thai seasoning. That's the only one that I'm using because I happen to have it handy. And as you can see, it's about 3/4 of a teaspoon. It's not like a huge amount. And I also have some, I'm just going to go around, as you can see, I have some other things here. So I have some garlic powder, I have some ginger powder, I have some, I think this is curry powder, coriander, and I have here, which is very important, I think, smoked paprika, which is going to give it a lot of nice, beautiful color without heat. And now I'm going to jump here and show that I have a pot here, and in that pot, oh, there's the children playing in the background. I didn't want to use corn syrup and things like that, so what I did was I took a little bit of brown sugar, not a huge amount, and I have a tiny amount of butter, maybe a square teaspoon, not much. And the rest is oil, and I'm just going to blend this. I'm heating it in a pot, and I'm just going to be mixing it together so the butter incorporates into sort of a caramelized, sort of a caramel sauce. But it's, as you can see, it's not very heavy on the butter. So I will be back once that is done, and I will put everything together into the marinade. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I have my prepared mustard. You can use any type of mustard you like, hot mustard, honey mustard. I would probably stay away from honey mustard because I have quite a bit of, sweetness in the brown sugar. But you can use hot mustard or just regular Dijon mustard. And what I'm going to be doing is I've already melted my brown sugar with the butter and the oil, and it's very liquidy. So I'm just going to be pouring it in, and with the brown sugar here. And I'm just going to be mixing it so we have sort of a semi-liquid with the mustard. And that's okay because we don't need it. We are just using it for a marinade, so we don't need it to be, I mean, it's okay if it's not completely, if it's not a semi-solid. If it's more liquidy, it's okay because it's going to be going in, and it's going to be making the chicken more tender, as marinades, as is the purpose of most marinades. So I'm just taking the last of the brown sugar, and this is actually better than using olive butter. So what you see here, this oil, it's It's a lot healthier than using completely relying on the butter. So what I'm doing now is I'm just putting all the spices that I have here and mixing that, pouring it over the chicken, I should say. And then I'm taking this and I'm mixing that with the spices. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to ingrain that. I'm going to rub it deeply inside the chicken. So under the skin, so over the skin and under the skin. And inside out, right side up, everything, every which way you can imagine. And once I'm done that, I will be back and I will show you how it looks. So I wanted to go back to the chicken here and show how nicely it is marinating. It's very glistening and shining because of the oil. And there's not really too much extra oil because this is a fair amount of chicken, and you do want to have oil because it will help the spices bind to the chicken, and it will also tenderize too. So I just have the chicken here, one piece here, so that you can see that I've lifted the skin and I've marinated, I've rubbed the marinade under the skin as well. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to add some black pepper, and also, even though we have garlic powder in the marinade, oops, there goes Scooby, I'm still going to be adding some garlic because I think it gives a really nice flavor. And I'm going to mix this up again, and it will be going into the oven. Okay, so Scooby has decided to calm down a bit. Now the person going by has left, I believe. So I just wanted to show you the finished product before it goes into the oven. I'm going to marinate this for a few hours, I should say. As long as possible is best. So I'm just taking some tongs and just showing that I've indeed marinated the chicken on inside, outside, and underneath. And I added a little bit more mustard than what I had. And you can see that it's really, you know, it's quite heavily coated. And I think it looks pretty good. And it's going to be quite flavorful because we have lots of nice fresh spices. And we also have mustard, and mustard can be very, you know, sort of sour, but because we have some of the sweetener in this, it should balance out, and I think it will be very, very nice. The other thing is I wanted to mention, because I'm on a very low sodium diet, I might or might not add salt, but you are more than welcome to add either a bit of salt or a tiny, tiny bit of soy sauce. Not too much that it will make the chicken dark, but enough that it will give it some salty taste to it. Okay, so I will be back, and I will be starting on the rice and the mushrooms. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm starting the rice, and then I'm going to do the mushrooms. And what I wanted to show was, what I wanted to stress was that I'm going to do some healthier variations from the original recipe. So I have here my pot full of rice, which I'm going to start cooking very, very soon. And the recipe does call for, I believe, chicken broth or some kind of meat-based broth. And here I'm doing a healthier option, which is Campbell's vegetable broth. And it says all natural flavors. And if you look at the ingredients, water, vegetable base, vegetable juice, concentrate, all these wonderful things. Yes, there is some brown sugar, but the wonderful thing is you do not see salt or sodium listed as the first, second, or third ingredient. So this is a much healthier option. And I think it will be very, very delicious. So I'm just adding some vegetable stock to this rice. I will be cooking the rice with the vegetable stock instead of water. Not instead of water, I'm sorry, in conjunction with water. And I'm going to be adding some garlic as they have in the recipe. I thought garlic powder would be better. I'm not adding the butter that they do call for. And there's also supposed to be, I believe, parsley. I'm just going to go with the black pepper because I feel I'm going to be having parsley in the mushrooms, so we don't need it here as well. And I'm just going to give it a quick stir, and then I'm going to be covering it and letting it cook. I'm going to add a little bit more water to this, and we'll be good to go. Okay, so to give an idea of how it looks right now, I just added a bit of water to this pot, and it is starting to cook. And I'm just going to sort of do this so you can see that I have water and vegetable broth covering, more than covering the water, the rice that I have in this pot. And we'll let this cook so that the rice is not completely done, but 80% done. And I will be back. Hi, so here I have my skillet, and I have some oil, some vegetable oil. The recipe, I believe called for all butter, and I'm going to be somewhat generous with my butter. I'm going to be using about 2 tablespoons of butter, but I am not going to be using only butter. So I am going to be using, and oh my gosh, does it ever smell good. So I'm going to be using a blend of vegetable oil and butter because I think that's obviously a lot healthier. And while that sizzles, I'm going to be adding my beautiful cut up mushrooms. And we're just going to be sauteing the mushrooms in the butter and the garlic, and I have a bit of salt added in there. I'm using unsalted butter, so I believe I should use some salt here. And it is smelling absolutely amazing. Oh my goodness, does it ever smell good? So while I do that, because I do not have chives on hand, I'm going to be using dried parsley, and quite a bit of it, because I don't have parsley in the chicken, and I would like for the parsley butter, which is, I think, a great combination with mushrooms. I think it will be very, very delicious and stand out on its own. So here we go. So mushrooms don't take very long to cook. So I'm just going to continue sauteing these. And once these are done, I'm actually going to be drizzling them onto the rice. And the rice at the moment is still cooking. So I will be back with the rice, the mushrooms, and the chicken. And does that not look amazing? Okay, so I just tasted it. I'm going to taste again. And I just want to show this beautiful plate. It just looks absolutely amazing. And I'm just going to have some mushroom. Mushroom, by the way, looks really good. Ooh. Still very, very hot. And how does it smell?
Smells delicious.
So
it smells good.
it's really, really good. I'm just going to have some chicken, and I've got the skin. I can taste the brown sugar with the mustard, and it tastes really, really amazingly good. It's not too sweet at all, and it's not sour. It's just perfect. It's very, very flavorful. So I think I did a good job by adding mustard to this recipe. I don't know what it tastes like. I haven't done the recipe in its original format, but what I've done here is really, really good. Okay, so seriously, did you want me to eat both pieces of chicken?
No.
No. Okay, so you want mushroom gravy with the rice.
Yes, dear.
Okay, thank you. So thank you everybody for watching. I really hope you give this a try. I'm going to put the link to the original recipe and the original, as I was saying, guys, I hope you give this a try. I'm going to have the original link in the description box, and the person who made this, whose recipe I followed, claimed for it to be the world's best baked chicken. And I don't know about that, but I would say it's up there. It is really, really good. So, and the version that I did is healthier, as I've been mentioning throughout the video. So I hope you give it a try, and thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you like my episode, and I will see you very, very soon. Take care, bye for now, and stay well.